The spiritual journey is a path of profound transformation, a voyage into the depths of one's own being. Along this journey, seekers of truth encounter challenges that test their resolve, faith, and understanding. These challenges, while difficult, are essential for growth and enlightenment. In this video, we'll explore 8 harsh truths that highly spiritual people often struggle with, but eventually overcome. These truths are not meant to discourage, but rather to shed light on the realities of the spiritual path and to offer guidance and inspiration for those brave enough to walk it. As we delve into each truth, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Remember, you are not alone in your struggles. Every spiritual seeker, no matter how advanced, faces these challenges. It is through facing them with courage and compassion that we grow, evolve, and ultimately find our way home. Truth 1. The existential crisis. In the heart of spiritual growth, there often lies an existential crisis, a dark night of the soul that each seeker must endure. This stage is a rite of passage, a descent into the shadowy depths of one's own being. Imagine a caterpillar, snug in its cocoon. To the outside world, it may seem like nothing is happening, but inside, a profound transformation is taking place. The caterpillar is dissolving, its old form breaking down to make way for the butterfly it is becoming. This is the essence of the existential crisis. It is a time when your old identity, your old ways of being begin to dissolve. What once provided comfort no longer satisfies. Old habits reveal their destructive nature. The very ground beneath your feet seems to shift. This crisis, as disorienting as it may be, serves a divine purpose. It strips away the superficial, revealing the essence of who you truly are. It is an invitation to question, to seek, to yearn for answers to the fundamental mysteries of existence. During this phase, you may feel like life has lost its meaning. You might feel like your very existence is in danger. This is the crucible of your transformation, the fire that burns away all that is false, leaving only truth in its wake. The key to navigating this dark night is to embrace it, to sit with the discomfort and the questions. Resist the urge to run from the darkness. Instead, let it teach you, shape you, mold you into the person you are meant to become. Remember, the caterpillar must first dissolve before it can fly. Trust the process even when it feels painful. Know that you are being prepared for rebirth, for a more authentic, more vibrant way of being in the world. Truth 2. The complexity of truth. As a spiritual seeker, you may yearn for absolute truths. However, the more you explore, the more you will find that truth is not always black and white. Imagine truth as a prism. When light enters a prism, it splits into a rainbow of colors. Each color is true, each color is real. But the full truth, the full light, contains all of these colors. This is the nature of spiritual truth. What is true on one level of reality may not be true on another. A statement that is profoundly true in one context might be irrelevant in another. The truths of the physical world, for example, may not hold in the realm of the spiritual. This complexity can be challenging in a world that often demands clear-cut answers. Society often rewards those who claim to have definitive solutions, but the deepest spiritual teachings often come in the form of parables, stories that invite contemplation and personal interpretation. Embracing this complexity means making peace with doubt and uncertainty. It means being open to new possibilities, to having your beliefs challenged and reshaped. When you find that some of the beliefs you once held dear no longer serve you, don't despair. This is a natural part of the evolution of your soul. With each layer of complexity, you gain a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of all things, of the impermanence of form, and of the eternal nature of consciousness. Remember, the goal is not to have all the answers, but to live the questions. Embrace the mystery, the paradox, the not knowing, for it is in these spaces that the most profound growth and transformation occur. Truth 3. Difficulty finding love. For those walking a spiritually awakened path, the quest for deep, meaningful love can be one of the most profound struggles. Your soul yearns for a connection that goes beyond the physical, into the realms of the spiritual and soulful. You seek not just a partner, but a soulmate, someone who resonates with your highest self. You understand that love is not just an emotion, but a sacred union, an energy that elevates and enriches. In a world that often prizes instant gratification and casual connections, this can make the search for love feel daunting. You crave conversations that stretch into the night, filled with musings about the universe and the essence of being. You seek a fellow traveler on the path of awakening. It's essential to remember that this yearning is a call from your soul. It is a signal that you are ready for a love that reflects your deepest truth. But this kind of love requires patience. It requires faith in the divine timing of your life. While you wait, focus on cultivating love within yourself. The more you nurture and understand your own essence, the more you will glow with an inner light that attracts those who value depth over superficiality. Remember, the love you seek is also seeking you. Trust that the universe is aligning circumstances, preparing the way for this sacred union. In the meantime, let the love you carry within be a gift to the world. Let it spill into your interactions, your creativity, your service. As you radiate love, you become a beacon, guiding your soulmate to you. Trust the journey and know that the love you seek is on its way. Truth. 4. The reality of suffering. One of the most profound truths that spiritual individuals must face is the reality of suffering. No matter how advanced one becomes on their spiritual path, suffering remains an inescapable part of the human experience. It's a theme that interconnects all lives, yet it is often the aspect of existence that we fear and resist the most. But to fully embrace life, to grow and mature on the spiritual path, we must learn to understand and learn from suffering. Suffering comes in many forms: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. It can be as obvious as the pain of an injury, or as subtle as the ache of a longing heart. The spiritual approach to suffering is not about seeking it out or glorifying it. Rather, it's about recognizing its role in our evolution. Suffering has the potential to crack open the ego, to reveal the deeper layers of our being, and to remind us of our shared humanity. When we experience suffering, it can shake us out of complacency. It can prompt us to question our life's direction, our values, and our purpose. It encourages us to seek new perspectives and to find strength we didn't know we possessed. The key to dealing with suffering is not to escape it, but to go through it with awareness. This means acknowledging our pain, sitting with it, understanding its roots, and learning what it has to teach us. It's about finding the balance between accepting suffering as a part of life and not becoming identified with it. We recognize that while we may experience suffering, we are not defined by it. Through acts of service, compassion, and kindness, we can transform our individual suffering into collective healing. This is a powerful step towards spiritual maturity. Remember, like all things, suffering is impermanent. It arises and it passes. By learning to be present with it, to learn from it, we can use it as a tool for profound growth and awakening. Truth 5. The challenge of letting go. The spiritual journey often asks us to let go of material possessions, outdated beliefs, old grudges, and past disappointments. Anything that hinders our growth and freedom. This act of letting go, while seemingly simple, can be one of the most challenging aspects of the path. Our ego, our sense of separate self, is built on attachment. It finds identity in the past and security in the familiar. Letting go requires us to confront the unknown, to embrace uncertainty, to trust in the unfolding of life. It asks us to surrender to a greater wisdom, a universal flow. It's deeply intertwined with the practice of trust. Trusting the process of life requires a leap of faith, not in the predictability of outcomes, but in the inherent goodness of the universe. When we let go, we make room for new experiences, opportunities, and perspectives. It's about creating space for growth and expansion. Letting go also means forgiving ourselves and others. Forgiveness is a release of the heavy burden of resentment, which can block the flow of spiritual energy in our lives. Through forgiveness, we liberate ourselves from the chains of negative past experiences. Each act of letting go is a lesson in humility, an acknowledgement of the impermanent nature of all things. It aligns us with the truth that our true essence is not found in external trappings, but in the depths of our being. Remember, letting go is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. It requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to step into the unknown. But with each release, we become lighter, freer, more open to the beauty and possibilities of life. Truth 6. The work of self-reflection. The journey within is not always comfortable. Highly spiritual people often find that self-reflection requires them to confront parts of themselves they may not like. Self-reflection is an art, a sacred dialogue with oneself. It involves turning inward, peering into the places within us that are often veiled in darkness, the fears, insecurities, and suppressed emotions that reside in the shadow. Engaging in shadow work is a commitment to truth. It requires us to acknowledge that our darker characteristics are as much a part of us as our virtues. This acknowledgement is not an act of self-condemnation, but an embrace of the totality of our being. The process of self-reflection is an excavation. It's digging deep into the psyche to unearth the roots of our behaviors and emotions. It's about asking the hard questions. Why do I react this way? What am I truly afraid of? Where did this belief about myself originate? This is the work of warriors. It takes courage to face oneself completely. But in this inner work, we are not looking to discard parts of ourselves or to create a new persona. We are seeking to integrate all aspects of our being into a harmonious whole. As spiritual beings, we are called not to perfection, but to wholeness. This wholeness encompasses the light and the dark, the seen and the unseen, the known and the mysterious. It is in the embrace of this wholeness that we find the truest expression of freedom. Remember, self-reflection is not a one-time event, but a lifelong practice. It requires gentleness, patience, and a willingness to sit with discomfort. But with each layer uncovered, each shadow faced, we become more authentic, more whole, more free. Truth 7. The reality of change. The spiritual path is one of constant change and evolution. Just as the caterpillar must let go of its old form to become the butterfly, we must continuously shed our old identities, beliefs, and ways of being. This process can be unsettling. We often cling to the familiar, even when it no longer serves us. We find comfort in the known, even if it's causing us pain. But change is the nature of life. Nothing stays the same forever. The more we resist change, the more we suffer. The more we embrace it, the more we flow with the natural current of existence. On the spiritual journey, change is a constant companion. As you grow and evolve, you may find that relationships, careers, and ways of living that once fit you perfectly no longer do. This isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path, but that you've outgrown your old skin. Embrace these changes as signs of your growth. Trust that as you let go of what no longer serves you, you make space for what does. Every ending is a new beginning, every death a rebirth. Remember, change isn't always comfortable, but it is always transformative. It's the catalyst for our evolution, the force that propels us towards our highest potential. So when change comes knocking, open the door. Greet it as an old friend, a wise teacher. Let it show you parts of yourself you've never seen before. Let it guide you to new horizons, new adventures, new ways of being in the world. Truth 8. The endless nature of the journey. Perhaps the greatest truth that spiritual seekers must face is that the journey never ends. There is no final destination, no pinnacle of enlightenment after which you can rest on your laurels. The spiritual path is an endless unfolding, a continuous becoming. Just as a river never stops flowing, just as a tree never stops growing, your soul never stops evolving. This truth can be both daunting and liberating. Daunting because it means the work is never done. Liberating because it means there's always more to discover, more to learn, more to become. Embrace the endlessness of the journey. Let it fill you with wonder, with curiosity, with a sense of adventure. Each day brings new opportunities for growth, new chances to love, to serve, to become more fully yourself. The goal is not to arrive at a static state of perfection, but to dance with the dynamic flow of life. To embrace change, uncertainty, and the unknown as gifts. To find joy in the unfolding, in the eternal process of becoming. Remember, you are not alone on this endless journey. You are part of a vast web of seekers, all walking their own unique paths. Take comfort in their presence, learn from their wisdom, offer your own light to guide the way, and trust that with each step, each challenge faced and overcome, you are becoming more authentically yourself. You are shedding layers of illusion and fear, and stepping into your true power, your true light. The spiritual journey is not for the faint of heart. It asks us to face our deepest fears, to question our most cherished beliefs, to let go of all that we cling to. It asks us to walk into the unknown, armed only with faith and a willingness to surrender. But for those brave enough to heed the call, the rewards are beyond measure. With each truth faced, each challenge overcome, we become more whole, more authentic, more alive. We step into our true power, our true purpose. We learn to find peace in the midst of chaos, to find joy in the face of adversity. We learn to love unconditionally, to serve selflessly, to live fearlessly. This is the promise of the spiritual path. Not a life without pain, but a life of profound meaning. Not a life of constant bliss, but a life of deep fulfillment. Not a life of perfection, but a life of endless growth and becoming. So take heart, dear seeker. The path may be steep and the truths harsh, but you have within you the strength, the wisdom, and the courage to face them. Trust the journey, trust yourself, and know that with each step you are coming home to your truest, most radiant self. And remember, you walk this path not just for yourself, but for all beings. Your growth, your awakening, your love, these are the gifts you bring to a world in need of healing. So keep walking, Keep growing, keep shining your light. The universe is cheering you on, and the destination, though ever receding, is more beautiful than you can possibly imagine. Namaste, dear one. May your journey be blessed, and may you always remember the truth of who you are.